because you want to make sure this person doesn't have any effusion. So that was going to be your first picture. I'm going to get that valve just a little bit more centered. Again, I don't care how you do, but I'm going to follow my protocol. Y'all can tell me if it's that much different on this, but this is the protocol that I follow everywhere I go. So, color. So if they had a VSD, remember today we learned the VSD? I can put it across typically one. You guys starting out, I'd probably put it across one instead of double. Frame rate still 21. You want to make sure you cover in front of the valve, at the valve, and past the valve. This is going to be a long echo. I'm going to pull it over a little bit. Frame rate's 28. I can see in front of the valve, at the valve, behind the valve. LVOT is under dimensions, LVOT diameter. This is my annulus. I'm going to be just adjacent to my annulus. Okay. I can also do the annulus while I'm here because it's the same cycle. So it's going to be under aorta, aorta dimension because I don't have a annulus package. Move it over a little bit so I can get a little bit more. Sinus of Valsalva, the root, leading edge, leading edge. Problem with the ascending is you can usually always see it in systole, but you can't see it in diastole, and that's where you measure it. So let me see where I can see the best. Ascending, AO ascending. See how my valves are pretty centered? You should not see more of the LV down here like this, because that throws your measurements off for your face measurements. So you want to make sure you try to get your images pretty centered. Package, RVLV. Yeah, I'm going to measure my septum. You see that posterior wall coming up to the cord right here? That's what you gotta watch for. Valves closed. RV/LV, systole. Make positive. Since I redid it, it's not going to give me the right ejection fraction. Have I missed anything on the protocol? Other than the valve. So again, you want to zoom in on your valves to show them, to make your measurements. You're also looking for structure. You're looking for any abnormalities, vegetation. So I colored it, I measured it, I did my aorta measurements. I'm gonna move on. Picture. I'm used to color compare when I take one picture. So see, my frame rate's 22. My box covers above, below, and covers the length of the valve. Do you see any regurgitation? Pick my cursor first, place it right through. So see, I'm getting a little bit above the baseline. Not a whole lot. I don't measure, show and go. Here's where it's kind of tricky. You got to make your box wide enough to cover annulus to annulus, above, below. Do you see any regurgitation? Squirt right at the bottom. See the squirt at the bottom? Is it an envelope?
No.
Would I measure?
No.
So what do I do?
Show and go.
I'm so proud of you guys. Y'all listen to me. Alright, so now I'm going to go with short access. What's my goal here? Show all three valves. And you're going to zoom in on the aorta. Again, with a Phillips, I can do color compare. So the purpose of this is to make sure it's 3 leaflets. Color. This is where your frame rate might be compromised because you got to make it wide to cover, to look. Remember the defects that we talked about today? That's where they're going to be, right in the middle of the aortic cusp. If she has any AI, that's where that's going to be. And I'll swing over just a hair. I'm going to do the tricuspid valve. I'm getting a little bit more, but still no envelope. Show and go. I'm gonna swing it over here. You wanna see my pulmonic valve?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see my branches?
Mm-hmm.
See it looks like pants leg view?
Mm-hmm.
See going into the right and the left? So I'm gonna change my box. Now, if she had a PDA, where would it come up at?
The middle of the color.
We're right in here. And your red jet would be flying up into your blue. So again, you want to cover above and below. Angel. So on a Phillips, I can place my sample box where I want to have it sampled at the same time as I do my continuous, but on here I can only do one at a time. So I'm gonna pulse wave my RVOT. RVOT is going to be above the pulmonic valve. And I'm going to pick pulmonic, RVOT trace. Start at the baseline, work my way down, back up. Where's it at? Pulmonary acceleration time. Starts at the baseline, follows the slope all the way to the point. I'll take it off. Let me see if I can go straight into continuous wave. I don't think I can. So I'm gonna hit it a bunch of times. So I'm not getting her regurgitation, so I'm going to try again. It's only a tiny bit. I still have to find it now. Not pulling it up. So this time I want PV trace, still under pulmonic. Again, these are my semilunar valves, so they're going to be under the baseline. So now I covered all three valves. You see how when I change how bright it gets and I'm constantly turning down or turning up my gain? You're going to constantly manipulate this from each view. Mitral level. Yes, papillary. Bitter mushroom. You see how my picture's pretty much taking up most of the sector? It's not up here, right? So you want to use the sector that you have. And then last, you want to pull in that apex. Same thing. Look around. And I don't care how you guys do A to Z Z day. I'm just old fashioned, so I've been doing it a certain way for so long. Alright, so volume. LA. It'll take me straight to the LA in systolic volume. I'm going to start in the LA at my annulus. I'm going to trace it without going so far into everything. You don't want to go into the pulmonaries, you don't want to go into the left atrial appendage. For me, I can't help it, I go straight to my tube. So I like to get both of them out of the way. Tiny breath in. Tiny breath. Okay. Once you push your measure button again, it automatically prompts you, and now it's ready for your 2-chamber. Same thing. I don't want to go into the pulmonic. Straight back up to the annulus. Click, click, click. Set. Okay. Now we'll go back to the 4. Frame rate's 29. Now 27. See my box. I can see my pulmonary. I can see it at the valve, above the valve. And I've got a good frame rate. Pick your cursor first. So I typically show that there's a tad bit of MR right here. So I take that and then y'all know I hate this machine. So I changed my base and I extended my sweep speed so I can stretch it out, make it bigger, because you're measuring it and you want to see very well what you're measuring. To bless you. So from here, mitral valve and mitral valve trace. Start at the baseline. My rapid E. Atrial kick. Boom. And then I want my mitral valve pressure halftime. Start at E. How long does it take for that slope to drop down to the baseline? So that's my continuous wave. Now, pulse wave right above the mitral valve leaflets. Again, my sweep speed's already stretched out for me. So you're just going to pick the best one you like. You turn your pulse wave knob, you turn it, see how that's cleaning it up a little bit? See that? Kind of takes the wispies around the edges out. Measure in this mitral valve E to A velocities. Okay. E. Decel follows your slope all the way down. You don't want to be out here. You want to follow the slope as it falls. Again, it's my A. And that'll give you your E velocity, A velocity, your E to A ratio, and your mitral valve area by pressure half time. So I did that. You see that nice, pretty red flow coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. So I'm going to come down here, place my sample in there. Pulse wave. Show and go, because she doesn't have any what?
Flow reversal.
Now I need, I don't need it over the whole thing, so I always change my box. Now you're in place. I don't care medial, lateral, I don't care. I just been doing it this way forever, so. Pulse wave. Again, if you turn that pulse wave down, you can clean it up a little bit. So now I'm looking at my, again, this is my E medial. I'm only measuring the E. Slide it over here to my lateral. I think I'll have to get out of it. I don't think it'll let me do it. ELAT. I just usually pick the best one. So I did my continuous wave, my pulse wave, my pulmonaries. Little breath in. So for our biplane, you're going to go to volume, biplane, and it's ready for my LVN diastolic volume 4-chamber. So do not go corner to corner. It's annulus to annulus, okay? So make sure that is closed. Scroll to systole. It automatically, as soon as I press the measure button, it's ready for the systole. These I can't see the greatest of Brenda Abrams. Deep breath in. As soon as you measure it again, it prompts me now to the 2-chamber. important thing to watch is that apex, because it doesn't shrink. So you want to make sure you get up there, and it's kind of hard sometimes with these machines. Biplane 66.66. Is that normal?
Yes.
You see how I enhanced that, where I only wanted the LV for my biplane?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to my regular. Okay. So I told you guys about the septum. So my frame rate is 43. Is that good?
No. Yes.
Do you see I can see the septum really well? If there was any flow going across, I would be able to see it. I'd be able to pause it. I'd be able to slow it down. And what's the one thing that I would look for across the septum if she had a shunt? Turbulent flow. Okay. Same thing. This one's kind of tricky because it doesn't want to let me. Frame rate still 23. Remember our VSDs or muscular Swiss cheese through here. Right here at the valves. From here. And 5-chamber. .27 frame rate. My box is just big enough to cover the sinus of Valsalva up into here if she had any AI. Always, 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 always pick your cursor first. That way you know where to place it. Now I'm doing continuous wave. Measure. Okay. Aorta. Aortic valve trace. The longer you guys learn to hold that image, the faster you'll go. Pulse wave right where the LVOT track is, where I made my measurement. Measure. This is going to be LVOT trace. Because I took her LVOT diameter measurement, you see at the bottom is giving me her AVA VTI. So remember I told you it was 3 things you had to get if they had stenosis. So it'll complete the package when you get those measurements. Okay. So now I'm ready to go on the right side. Again, I don't care how you guys do it in order. I'm not a stickler about that. We can't do volume on the RA, so what's it going to be called? Good job. And as soon as I put area, it's automatically giving me RA area. Again, annulus. To annulus. Those of you that do major and minor, remember your major. I always think of the soldier standing straight up, so it's going to be your valves down to the bottom, and your minor is going to be across this way, so it'll form a T. I don't have that on the protocol. Take measurement off. If I Get it to erase. I can stay in this same frozen loop and scroll back. Okay. Measure. This time I want dimensions. If I flip the page, there's my RV base. RV base is the same like you do the LV base in our 2D measurements. You want to stay right there above the leaflets. Then it's prompted me for mid already. So I can do mid. If I really, really, really want the length, you can do a focal view. I can try to bring it in. Take a little breath in. You gotta see the apex in order to make that measurement. If you can't get that apex brought in, skip that last measurement. So what I call the tricks of the trade, if I color right here and I do my Doppler, you see how my Doppler's going at an angle? So a lot of times what I do is just swing it. Now look. Do I got a better angle? So a lot of times I just swing it over and now I got a better angle. So let me go back to just getting the picture first. So frame rate's 27. I'm covering valve to valve. You want to cover down because it's important to see if she had a lot of regurgitation. You want to see it if it's going down the back of that wall or not. So your box is very important. Pick my cursor. I see something right there. Keep on pushing right here. Alright, see I'm still not getting it in very good. So I'm anal. So I'm gonna try to foreshorten. You can always foreshorten for color, y'all remember that. Because you want the best. I'm getting a little bit more of an envelope. I still don't know if I would worry about it there. So I'm gonna take it. Back to my picture. Now we're going to assess the RV function. Okay, so I'm going to place my cursor right across her annulus and I'm going to hit M mode. Measure. As soon as you measure, it automatically comes up right on the front. TAPSE. You're going to look for the best picture. So if I'm going to look for a nice valley up to a hill, first one, second, third, or fourth? I'd say first or fourth. Valley first. You see that little crosshair? What's a normal value for TAPSE? Somebody say 1.7? Did I hear that?
Yeah.
Again, this time we're going to be annulus, pulse wave. Measure. Tricuspid valve, RVS, actually saw its excursions going up, so it's gonna be above your baseline. This does not, it has the E, we do the E, this has the E to A. We measure the E, but I don't have it on you guys' protocol. Just the S. Focal view, you wanna make sure that you look up in here. I see your moderator band. So we always take, I don't know if it's in there, but I'm so used to taking it just in case. Did I miss anything on the protocol?
The symbol and the flag spot, I don't know if you're looking for that.
Since y'all started out, it's on half of y'all's protocols. So I just want y'all to know the concept because so many clinical sites, y'all have to do it.